Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Mercado de Lisboa, where today we got to take care of some customers in the queue. Set up the game as usual, but discard all the customer tiles except one each of the different customer levels. Begin the game with 2 coins, and customer tiles can only be placed if the row or column contains all of their requested items. Honestly, this doesn't seem like that big of a change. We're usually trying to do that thing anyway, right? So while we're setting this up, I saw a thread on Board Game Geek yesterday about where people were posting their scores from having done the solo mode, and it looks like it's just the case that people get a lot of a lot of people have gotten 3 fame on sort of like a bunch of these middle challenges. So it's not that I'm having like a weird anomalous experience or anything here, it's just that probably the scoring values on these are tuned a little bit low. I mean, I say that, but we're talking about the kind of people who go to Board Game Geek and post in the forums, so right, the scores are tuned a little bit low for the most very enthusiastic board game players. Wow, weird starting position. Well, it's easy enough to flush our hand, I guess. That's probably where this is going. So what, we could make like a... No, hold on, let me finish my thought. I get distracted. It's always difficult to know exactly how the experience is for just sort of like the broad swath of people who are going to play the solo mode of this game. Because like you can't really look at what's going on in the Board Game Geek forum and try to pretend that that's representative of the hobby as a whole. Right, I don't know what the percentage of people who play board games and also go to board game enthusiast websites is, but it's probably a pretty small percentage of the overall. And then on top of that, of course, you're dealing with the percentage of those people who are willing to post in a forum and stuff, and so it probably doesn't actually mean that much that the kind of people who would post in a Board Game Geek forum get really high scores, except that I believe every single person that I saw in that thread got a 0 on Challenge 7. So, that certainly does suggest something. If even the people who are most into board games are all failing to score on that, that tells us a thing. Alright, let's talk about strategy here. So what do we have to get to? It's like 30, 40, 50? Yeah. Alright, we have to get to 50 points. We do not have a lot of customers with which to do it. So we can start by putting down a tomato, and then we're definitely going to take this at some point. And tomato, and meat in this row makes it really easy for us to satisfy these customers right there. And then obviously we'd like to build a whole bunch of meat stands along another axis and try to get to very high value on the 4 meat customer. Oh, I should probably actually deal out the restaurant tiles too. Did I shuffle this bag? Let me make sure. Yeah, I don't know. So it may well just be the case that the average score on the campaign is a little bit higher than I might have intuitively expected. So the challenges might not be tuned to be all that difficult. But whatever the answer, it cannot just be that I'm doing a good job at a thing. The parts of my brain will not accept it, apparently. I keep finding myself looking for reasons why I would be scoring high. There has to be some excuse. It can't just be me doing well. Okay, so we find ourselves here in a position where we can probably afford to chain restaurants in a way sort of similar to the way we did in the first challenge, which is to say that like a lot of the restaurants probably are not going to matter that much. It would be really cool to have the pub feed 4 restaurants, or have the pub feed 4 stands. But beyond that, I kind of feel like we could just play wherever. This is another one of those total score challenges, so we do have to be cautious about not overspending. But I think for the moment, my move is just going to be, let's just commit tomato stand somewhere, pick up a restaurant of a type that we suspect we don't care very much about, and then do some restaurant chaining to earn money. We'll try to figure it out from there. So that costs us our $1, gets us one of these. I'm going to take this so that we can flush our hand. Okay, good news. And then we start a new turn, and we do that thing I just said. 3 of the same type. Let's just... I guess those were already shuffled. That probably didn't need a reshuffle. Alright, a little bummed out to see no further meat. And grape and grape and fish are both not represented on the board at all, which is kind of wild. Let's make sure we shuffle these now that we've just put some new stuff back in there. So I think our plan here is probably like play fish, take meat, and if a grape shows up, we can maybe flush our hand again. So maybe we do care a little bit about the... No, I do not care about fish. We almost cannot... We cannot really score off of fish. So I guess I'm just going to put this down somewhere. Let's put the fish restaurant down. Okay, so if we care about our meat restaurant... If we care about our meat stands a bunch, and we want the pub to be the stand that is in this row... Like, say this is the pub spot, and we're building across here. It should work just fine. I guess it's just like... Yeah, it doesn't actually matter where we put this, as long as it's not in one of the spaces that we're planning to build stands in. So I'm just going to throw this down over here. We'll just play it in a corner. Fish is low value for us this game, so the sushi restaurants can go all the way out of the world. And then we can kind of do the same thing with many of the other restaurant types. Like, we don't care about grape. So let's go ahead and open the pizza restaurant here. Now, we can't just do that here, because obviously we need to save this space for a stand. But we could, like, open this in the corner, just take all these low-value stands. This will give us an opportunity to open some stuff up, and then we have to open one of these stands. And it's going to be a zero-value play no matter what it is. Yeah, there's actually no way for it to matter. So let's just put it down in a location where it gets us another restaurant so that we can play more restaurants. So, like, we'll go 1 money to play this stand in the upper right corner. Just, yeah, I think just anywhere that is on top of a restaurant is equally valuable for our purposes. And then we take this thing, and I definitely shuffled these already, but, like, you know, just to be certain. Alright, and we're going to end the game holding on to these 2 grape stands, I think. Alright, so with the meat stand, we can go ahead and play that one on the pub. We know this is a place where we want a meat stand. And then we may as well just go ahead and drop the pub, because we know that that's where we want that to go. And now we have to think a little bit. Do we want to, in the situation where we don't draw another meat, which is possible, unlikely but possible. Oh, I guess, sorry, let me finish this action before I go talking. Okay, now we have a little bit more information. In the situation where we don't ever draw another meat, which is possible, do we wanna... Like, we kind of have to play the next meat in this row just to be sure, right? To be sure that we'll be able to play these 2 customer tiles. So I guess I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's pay 2 to play it right here. Okay. Not necessarily amazing. I'm going to drop this here. This will be, for sure, a good spot for this. And then we'd love to get another meat stand there and put that burger restaurant in that position. And I guess the positions of the tomato restaurants, or the pizza restaurants, actually do matter because we care about tomato. Oh, right, sorry, I have to finish taking my whole action. Okay, so that's a flush for our hand. That's pretty good news. So, tomato restaurant right here makes a lot of... Or tomato stand here because I put a pizza restaurant there. Makes a lot of sense, right? And then that's a 3-point play, so we have to build up to that a little bit. Or 3-cost play, rather. Let's make it. Let's just go ahead and do it. So I'm going to open up this tea restaurant in the upper corner. to get us the burger stand. I'm going to play the burger stand here, perhaps a little speculatively, but I don't think unreasonably so. And then we're going to end up playing a stand here to claim this restaurant, and then we can put this restaurant here to grab that. So we are going to get to flip over all the restaurants. We are going to actually get to play everything. So I may as well play this here. It just needs to be adjacent to any tomato stand, right? They all have effectively the same value. So really, this is the only play that's available to us. Pay all of the dollars, play tomato stand, take the grape stand from the display. Okay, display is not bringing us a lot of help. We have 3 stands left, and now it's the beginning of a new turn, and we dump our hand, and we are hoping for meat stand. Meat stand. Oof. All right. Not amazing luck so far, if I'm being honest. And unfortunately, well, it doesn't really matter. I was going to say, unfortunately, there's no way to play this tomato stand before we have to commit some customers. But actually, it's fine, right? Because we still score the customer tiles when we play the tomato stand later. I feel like that's a thing that I forget about a lot. So let's just go ahead and play this customer now, right? So we have a 4 value stand, and a 3 value stand, and a 2 value stand for a total of 9 multiplied by 3 is 27 money, and that's got us set on dollars for the rest of the game, I'm sure. I'm going to go ahead and pay the 4 to play this here. And upon doing so, I'm going to earn 3 of that back. I guess I could have done that math first, and then not had to press all this. And then I guess we're going to take the fish in the hopes of flushing the market, which we successfully do. So the flush happens when we go to take a tile, right? So we don't actually get to know, when you need to take one. So we don't actually get to know what we will have the option of taking next time. Let's go ahead and open this restaurant. We know that we're going to do this. So let's go ahead and open this restaurant here. And then open this restaurant here. I totally forgot that we actually are going to score a plant stand at some point, because we have to be able to play the 1 customer tile. So let's just go ahead and put that down now, shall we? So that is $2. And then when we go to take a stand, instead of taking one of these, we deal out new ones. Okay. It only took us 3 flushes to be able to find a single additional meat stand. Alright. Except I did some bad math here. How did I think we were going to be able to play a 4th stand here? Because I was thinking of it. I was thinking of us having a cross shape that was built on a cross of stands, so it would only take 7 stands. So we're not even going to be able to play the 4 customer tile because I did a bad. Is what happened. So that's going to negatively impact my score. Just like thoughtlessness. Thoughtlessness negatively impacts the score, it turns out. Let's go ahead and play our final stand. So we may as well grab this restaurant by doing so. And then also play the restaurant somewhere for a coin. And I guess I'll take this. And then it's the beginning of a new turn, and I'm flush in my hand. We don't even need to, but... Wow. It's been a very streaky distribution of tiles this game. Alright, so let's play the rest of the customer tiles that we can play. You go here, earning me 1, +2, +3, 4 times 2 is 44. Sorry, it's 20, plus the 24 we have is 44. And then this one here gets us 3, plus 3, plus 3, and we still get there? Even though I screwed up and didn't get to play the 4 customer tile because I just, like, totally spaced on it? I think that's right? 4 plus 3 plus 2 plus 1 is definitely 10. And then, yeah, 53. And that is a 3 fame point score, right? Okay, so like I was saying, these are probably a little low-tuned. These are maybe a little on the easy side. Alright, I'm pretty sure that I did not screw that up anywhere, and it was definitely more valuable to play this than it would have been to play that, right? This would have been, in this position, it would have just been a 14 or a 16-point play, whereas this was a 20. And actually, it would have been the difference between 2 and 3 fame, so I'm really glad I didn't just, like, get Thoughtless again. There's a limited number of times you can get Thoughtless per scenario before it starts to really hurt your score. Okay, well, I guess that's going to be it for us for this challenge. They go pretty quickly, actually, if you don't spend a lot of time sitting there and staring at the board and talking to yourself, which I usually do. So, thank you all so much for watching. When you come back in just a little while here, we're going to be taking on Challenge 7, which, as I said, I think I saw many reports of people scoring 0 points on, so, you know, a new challenge, a slightly different level of challenge than has been presented by some of these. And we'll see you then.